I'm sure I ain't gonna lie with Joy yesterday and chat it over Joy yesterday, but I had some shit going on, like, all right, so check this out. I don't know where in the fucking America that somebody, okay, so let me explain to you. I got this Section 8 crap, right? And that's supposed to get me out of my current situation. This place I'm at right now, this ain't my permanent spot. This is like a segue until they get me in employment or whatever, right? So I remember when I was first talking to freaking the guy that's my housing coordinator guy, whatever. Real good dude, real good dude. I don't have nothing bad to say about him. Shout out to Muhammad. So he had told me, he said that a lot of the landlords don't like messing with people from the shelter because I guess a lot of the people have been duped over, been effed over, whatever, from landlords. I'm like, okay, I can get that. But primarily it's because of your choices. They send in crackheads, they send in lifetime alcoholics, lifetime drug addicts, men over 55 and 60 years old that can't really necessarily just dupe and jump back into the job market anymore. Good morning, Annette. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, I get what you're saying. I'm thinking he's saying drug addict. Now, he meant everybody. So let me tell you about these obnoxious fucking people that have somehow filled the area that I once loved. I like, if it's just my coming back to Stanford, I really don't like Stanford anymore, to be quite honest with you. I used to like it here. I used to love it here. And now it's just this dark, gloomy, like brighter version of Bridgeport. Is that the best way of saying it? It's like a shitty place with flowers. You know what I mean? Like the people here are obnoxious now. Like people in New York, like I live 30 minutes outside of New York. People in New York are trust me, it's hard to deal with sometimes. But here it's just like this little like subtle, obnoxious fucking shit. It's just like it's real fucking crazy. I'm not talking about the people that are on the streets. No, no, no. I'm not talking about people no, I'm talking about people that quote unquote think they're to do. So these landlords have pointed themselves into a position where they're like, well, we're not going to rent to anybody. We don't find this to do that we don't like or whatever, whatever. So within that judgment, what they basically done is the whole homeless crowd, they've already typecast them. You know what I mean? Like they don't care. You understand what I'm saying? Meanwhile, these are the same motherfuckers when you're going to the grocery store with your good home owning ass, or you're going to McDonald's or whatever. These are the same crackheads that are on the corner bothering you. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to eradicate the problem. Like as a result, he wanted to get a credit score. Now, mind you, I didn't everything y'all done seen, everything these motherfuckers need, I get from them. I done spent my own money several times going to New York, going to the other town I was at, going here, going there. I counted up, I spent almost 300 and something plus dollars going to get shit for these people. You understand what I'm saying? Now, today, in this past weekend, and why my time's been consuming, because this motherfucker want me to get a credit report. Credit report state we need $29 for that shit. I'm not paying $29. Yes, I got $29, but I'm not paying $29. Nigga, I'm homeless. I'm not paying for shit else. Y'all pay for that shit. Y'all pay for that shit. I spent over. I had to look at my bank statement. I looked at the thing. I was like, yo, I done spent over 300 because I remember this trip. I remember that trip. I remember this trip. I went live on some of the trips I had to go to. This y'all know I ain't bullshitting. I'm like, I just spent over. It was like $358. I had spent to go get information for these niggas. I'm like, yo, hold up. Ain't I supposed to be the one that's homeless? Then why the fuck am I spending money? How come I ain't being reimbursed for shit? Now you want me to spend money again on a probability that one of these motherfuckers might lend me, but y'all ain't got no persons in line already for these niggas. Like, listen, the biggest mistake about Connecticut is it's got this municipality bullshit. I've said this for a long fucking time. So if y'all don't know what I mean, meaning each city is almost like a parish or something like that, where each city has its own municipalities. You understand what I'm saying? Those municipalities are responsible and basically own and operate however the fuck they want to own and operate. You understand what I'm saying? This is why you see more and more and more and more of an increase in Connecticut of homeless folks. One, it's expensive as fuck to live here. Two, you have these old-fashioned ass landlords that are 60, 70 years old and still think it's fucking 1980 and 1990. And because they have a saved account, they think, oh, there's nothing wrong with the economy. The economy is just doing fine. Motherfucker, you sitting on 1.2 that you had sitting on for past 30, 40 years. It's almost like they're orchestrating their own income and demise, and I just don't get it. So no, I'm not paying no $29 for no motherfucking credit report. I stay here for another fucking month and I bounce. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? To be quite honest with you, I'm tired of dragging this shit out. Like, nigga, like, there's no reason this rich ass state and they just received $10 billion. Okay, the state. That's why I put that shit right there. The state just received $10 billion motherfucking dollars, and you got homeless people running around, nigga. Huh? This is the richest state in the tri-state, and the most poorly operated one too. Ain't nobody more poorly operated except for Jersey. Jersey and Connecticut tight. You think it'd be New York? It's not. New York will move way smoother. New York has its problems, but not like Jersey and Connecticut. Jersey and Connecticut, like this, the litany of problems are just different. Connecticut has long-standing problems, but most of it is attributed to throwing money towards shit that wasn't needed. Preservation of old houses, preservation of statues. Out wild was at one time they built a fucking statue that cost $1.2 million for people to come see it 6 months out of the year, maybe 4 months out of the year. The misappropriation with money in the municipalities has led to a deficit in their budgets statewide, if that makes any sense. So this $10 billion that they're getting, I want to know what the fuck they're doing with it. And I want to show y'all something. This right here is paperwork for this. Okay, so see, this is all my paperwork signed to say I was in, you know what I'm saying? All that shit, whatever. It's not. I mean, it's just, this so y'all know ain't no Chuck with it. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no Chuck. So I'm like, okay, and they got the little bullshit ass, what's the name now, whatever, let's get the moving or whatever. So these niggas is telling me, if you don't find a spot within 120 days, which I think they knew already that I wasn't, I think this is a way just like to cash me out, which is cool. I mean, I don't never, let me tell you something, right? I don't never, ever, and don't you either, don't never trust no white man's program, ever. You understand what I'm saying? Especially if you black or Latino. A lot of Latinos, especially light-skinned Latinos, want to run around kissing the ass of poor white trash. You're talking about unaccomplished whites, whites that are below the educational level. You know what I'm saying? Physically under the level, mentally under the level. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, a lot of blacks and Latinos make the mistake of trying to get side by side with these like meritless ass motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes these meritless ass motherfuckers will try to pretend like even though they at the bottom of the totem pole in their own culture, they still above you because of skin color. And I've proven that shit a million times to be wrong. Oh yeah, well I heard about this, that. Hey, look, I just got this text. I'm gonna take a snapshot of this shit too. I don't know why they're not lying you in, all this shit. Hey, I'm not sure why they're not. Unfortunately, I am off this week. You know what I'm saying? I want y'all to see that I'm getting that text right now. That was my house report. He's off this week. So, oh well. Hey, yeah, I'm not sure why they asked him, so I'm going to take a screenshot of this for you. But if you're free, you can meet on Monday, resolve the issue. Okay, we'll meet on next Monday. No problem. We'll meet on next Monday. I'm not paying shit. You understand what I'm saying? And the loopholes that they make the homeless crowd go through in this state is fucking ridiculous. And New York and Jersey. And y'all motherfuckers should be ashamed of yourself. Y'all niggas is getting billions of dollars to absolutely do nothing but try to build the infrastructure of your motherfucking what's the name. Let me just reply to him. That's fine. That's fine. No problem. And still, these lawyers, and still, hold on one second. I'm writing a text you, and still Landlords should be ashamed of themselves. Landlords should be ashamed of themselves. Just give me 1 second. I'll write the text. Should be ashamed of themselves. They have a mandate set for units, for specific units in Stanford. Some bullshit. And I'm gonna tell y'all what I mean by that. I'm gonna take a screenshot of that so y'all can know that I ain't bullshit. I'm gonna put that up in a minute. All right, let me send that real quick. So let me tell you about these motherfuckers that I had. A few years ago, this is before COVID started and all that shit. And I know this shit because the same rings true in New York and in Connecticut. There's a lot of developments out here, and I'm gonna show y'all in a minute. There's a whole bunch of developments down here in Stanford. And basically they were properties that were being erected but got stopped midway because of the pandemic. So you see a whole bunch of scaffolding and skeletons of buildings in downtown Stanford. Beautiful buildings, projectionally very expensive apartments. So what they do is, and I learned this from my coworker, I'll give you one example. They put up a series of brand new apartments with literally right around the corner from me. I'm going to take you over there so you can see them. And what they did was these motherfuckers, they put the places up and they made them right to the criteria where financially, if you were coming from one of these services or you were coming from Section 8, they knew that they just put it up $300 more than that. You would never have the problem. You would never have any of these people trying to move in, anything like that. Several other buildings I found out after investigating this shit had the same shit. You understand what I'm saying? So they do this purposely. I want you to underline this so they don't have to rent to guys like me. The guy that was lived in a condo previously, had no issues. My ex-landlord was a fucking probation officer for kids. And it's like a lawyer on top of that. You know what I'm saying? My landlord my landlord after that, Joe Nuck, which I lived right across the street from fucking beach. Kind of similar to here, but it was like 3 miles of beach where I lived at. And which I think I've shown you guys before. I was with Joe for 8 years, and the whole 8 years I was with Joe. Joe sells processing chips and shit like that across the world. This motherfucker goes to seminars in China and shit. You know what I mean? He works right out of Rhode Island. So I have reputable, not just because they're white, but reputable landlords. So if anything, that would be, and the fact that I always paid them. Like my last landlord, he didn't even want me to leave. He was trying to tell me, he was like, yo, just wait 2 months if you can. And I'll have a smaller unit ready for you. We'll move you in there. I won't even charge a deposit. This is what my ex-landlord said. You know what I'm saying? Before I left, this is a fact. He didn't want me to leave. You know what I mean? So, my dumb ass, I wasn't dumb. I just couldn't be out there no more after everything that happened or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't know, man. And some people do know, whatever. That whole violence thing, I don't deal with that very well. Like, my thing with violence is, like, if you threaten me or you get in my way or something, the minute y'all know this, fuck all that talking, all that, I'm gonna hit you and I'm gonna hit you quick. And I'm gonna get you the fuck out the way. You know what I'm saying? I'll argue with you maybe one time, or if I'm looking around to see if there's cameras somewhere. If you see me looking around, I'm arguing with you, nigga, I'm looking for cameras. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for cameras in the escape route. You know what I mean? Depending on what I'm gonna do to you. So please be aware of that. You know what I'm saying? And I think my record shows thus far that I've been pretty fucking consistent since I was 16. You know what I mean? Ain't too much I'm scared of. So, and you can't scare me talking and all that shit. So, it's just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I can understand on one protection that you have, like a hindrance to the homeless people, but I don't get it. Like, you just like literally increasing the number in your general locale. You know what I'm saying? By not doing that. These people were building buildings here and in New York City, and they're supposed to have a certain partition of these apartments available for the homeless. They're not doing that. You're not supposed to be asking me. Oh, you like let's just say morally. You shouldn't be fucking asking me for no fuck. Nigga, I'm coming out of homelessness. You ask me for a credit report. We coming out of homelessness and a pandemic. You ask for it. You sound stupid. And this is nothing but, of course, perturbed ass whites, perturbed ass Latinos, and perturbed ass blacks. I ain't gonna sit there in front and say it's just all white people. It ain't just all white people. It's a bunch of prudes. You know what I'm saying? And then the funny thing is, the prudes that live here, they can't afford to live in Old Greenwich. They can't afford to live in Greenwich. They can't afford to live in CASHAPP. So since they can't afford or can't buy anything down there, afford to buy anything down there, those are more opulent areas here in our area. Since they can't do that, they come to Stanford and show their ass. You know what I mean? Oh no, we won't ever rent to them. No. Let me tell you what HUD needs to do. HUD, you need, since Connecticut is made up of a whole bunch of municipalities, kind of like similar to Jersey, what you need to do is you need to come in and start doing an audit. Since the stimulus money is out, the whole 10 billion that Connecticut got in totality or will receive over the next 2 years, what you need to do is you need to come in and do an audit of the city. You do an audit of any other city. Come in and do an audit of all the specific cities and see where the past 2 fiscal years they spent their money. Then you'll find your answers. Come in and do an audit and see how many of the apartments are that were mandated, and I'll underline again, mandated to have a specific amount of units put aside for the homeless in the area. How come they haven't come to the motherfucking fold? How come they are refusing? I can understand somebody's extreme. Like, if you've been on cocaine for 20 years and now all of a sudden you want to get your life right at 57, I can understand that be a raise of an eyebrow. You know what I'm saying? I get that. But even if you're looking at it like that, if the criteria are made, all the criteria are made, that's why I got the shit. Once again, I'll show you again. You got my paperwork right there. Yeah, all of it. Over 85 freaking pages of this shit. They got so much shit in. You know what I'm saying? And then this is what I had to do a Zoom meeting with it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm official. I got it. And the only thing is finding a landlord that feels that he's hoit. I don't know where they got all these prudes from. Connecticut's always had fucking prudes, but the prudes we had were cool. They were still kind of like townies. The prudes they have here now are like really just rejects that couldn't afford to be around the rich people they want to emulate. So they come over here to show their ass. You know what I mean? That's what it basically boiled down to. The motherfuckers you trying to impress, you can't afford to be around them. So you want to come around other motherfuckers and stunt and poke your chest out. But even the people that you can afford to be around know you fronting and stunting. This is the majority of homeowners and developers in this area. You know what I'm saying? Not all of them, but the majority of them are just like fucking prudes and this, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's definitely been a tilt in the population since I lived here. You know what I'm saying? Before. Definitely a tilt in the population. You know, you got a lot of people from Hartford, Bridgeport, and New Haven. So three of the most undesirable fucking places you want to live at in the state of Connecticut. Trust me on this. Not all the areas totality, but the majority of all three of them areas out there. I mean, it's always shoot. Yale University is where fucking Yale University is in New Haven, Connecticut, right? New Haven, Connecticut got more violence than a little bit, especially a lot of racial violence. You got a lot of instances down there with police chiefs getting fired, on all kinds of shit. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want to hire a black police fire chief at one time. They didn't want to hire a black police chief at one time. The NAACP in New Haven is very active. So is the one in Hartford. I know the branch. I know people that are the branches both of which are women. In both branches, Hartford and New Haven, from just having to deal with what's the name. I've reached out to one of them before. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people, and it's all some of them from my previous work, and then you know, some of it's just from my day-to-day interactions or whatever. But I tell you this fucking much. This right here where I live at is the richest county and most expensive county in the state of Connecticut. Yes, it is. Oh, the one four of the most profitable areas, five actually: Westport, Stanford, Greenwich, and Old Greenwich. It's four most opulent areas, you say, in this immediate area of Connecticut in this municipality. And it's a motherfucking shame that you have landlords here that don't want to help the citizens of not only Connecticut, fellow citizens of Connecticut, but I have to ask at that point, who fucking side are you on? Like your own or who? And that's one thing I miss about the vibe that Connecticut used to have. It used to be about, hey, you from the town, whatever, whatever. Now these motherfuckers, everybody's here trying to, that has a slight bit to do with social adjustment after the pandemic. I get that shit too, but it's a lot of fucking foul shit to be going on, you know what I mean? And I don't like it. I don't like it at all, you know? And I'm not blaming this guy. You know what I'm saying? This guy, let me tell you something. The guy that I have as a worker is one of the nicest fucking guys you ever want to meet in your life. I'm not sure if he's, I think he may be some type of Indian. I never asked him, but I'm believing he's either Indian or maybe possibly, well, he wouldn't be Punjabi because he's a Muslim. So he may be either, yeah, he wouldn't be Indian either because not many Indians are actually Muslims. So maybe he's like Saudi or something. I never really asked him because it never came up. I just look at him like, oh, that's my brother. I told you. You know what I mean? So I don't want to give him no smoke and make him look bad. Nor do I want to make the other two gentlemen, Rob and George, were been very, very nice. And my man, Big Guy, shout out to you, whatever, whatever. Yeah, I had to catch y'all niggas on camera one time. I ain't trust y'all motherfuckers at first, you know what I'm saying? Understandably, right? You know what I mean? But y'all cool as fuck, though. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? And it's not your fault. So I want to eliminate that. Whose fault it is the governor needs to start putting some pressure. Do I got called up there again? I done called up there like 7 times now. All right? We'll make this be 8. And when I call now, I talk shit because I call with a lawyer now, right? Remember? He's tagged in this. You know what I mean? I don't never call people like that, governors, mayors, or whatever, unless you got a lawyer in the background. Now I know everybody ain't as lucky as me or whatever, and you ain't got friends and shit like that. But what you need to do is contact your local college, and there's always some kids that are upcoming lawyers, or usually their dads are lawyers, or moms are lawyers, and they'll help you out most of the time pro bono. A little tip for you. You know what I mean? Especially NYU and Yale University if you're in Connecticut. So let me tell you guys something now. If they don't eradicate this problem with the $10 billion, and that's why I put that little picture right there that Connecticut received, the history and the stain of what's to come of this state and what it's going to become is going to be horrendous. Just like the other 3, what you're missing here is just like the other 3, because the other 3, there's only 4 major cities in Connecticut. It's Hartford, New Haven, Bridgeport, and then here. You know what I mean? All 4 have their beauty. You know what I mean? But the most beautiful out of all of them is here. Everybody knows it. Anybody don't know that. You know what I mean? The most beautiful of all the major cities in Connecticut is here. This should actually be the capital of Connecticut, not Hartford. Hartford should be your exiting point, as it is. No offense to people in Hartford. I got some friends in Hartford, but oh God, crap place. And then the place it leads over to, Springfield, Massachusetts, ain't no better. No better whatsoever. You want a credit report for homeless people. The state that's got $10 billion, and which they'll probably throw at every effort to moralize some fucking house built in 1564 or some shit like that. I'm dead serious. Like, this state has spent years just throwing money to shit that don't even matter. You know what I mean? So at this point, I'm just like, whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? I don't even care. So my guy that I was a boy, he's a cool dude, whatever. I'm ready, locked and loaded to go, but this is not my permanent place, and this is what I was trying to explain, niggas. Like, so I'm here for another month, possibly another 2 months or whatever, and after that it is what it is. But we about to do this little raising real quick and get that up or whatever, because I can't be doing this, man. It's like, yo, what do you want? Do you ever want this shit to eradicate? Do you like the problem? Do you like paying for this shit? Do you like paying for this shit? Like, I just don't get it. Like, eradicate the problem. Put these motherfucking landlords under pressure. That's the problem. You're trying to be nice to the landlords, but yet put the upcoming or potential tenants under pressure. You understand what I'm saying? Nigga, I got y'all recorded several times now talking about, yo, we do everything you're supposed to do. I know I fucking do everything I'm supposed to do. So then that way you ain't never got to say that I don't. Because then that holds me up. What you think, I'm stupid or something? I love when people think I'm stupid and can't count. Look here. I've been everything in life. I've been a church boy. I've been a fucking part of a terror organization. Literally. It's wasting my time. It's wasting other people that are in the homeless situation time. It's wasting a lot of people's money, effort, and everything else. And it's just unfortunate that not only one, you don't have no black organizations, or particularly outside of getting some free food, any Latin organizations, black or Latin organizations that actually help out monetarily, or even as advocates. You know what I'm saying? They should be the ones on the ground. The NAACPs, all these other different agencies or whatever, for people to get on and profess the good lie that they tell on fucking TV all the time, that they care. These motherfuckers don't care about you. You think all those fuckers care about you? You out of your fucking mind. You know what I mean? They're good if it benefits them. They'll jump in front of the camera if it benefits them. They'll jump in front of the camera if it adds to their recognition. You know what I mean? Other than that, the motherfuckers, they cared about you. I ain't worried about you. And if you think they worried about you, you're a fucking fool. You know what I'm saying? Trust me. If I don't, if I haven't found a place in 120 days, they give you like a 30-day extension. This is how this fucking voucher shit works. And after that, they done with you. They even told you that in the meeting. They like, yo, we done with you. You know what I'm saying? We write you a reference and say you was approved for it or whatever. So, it's all a setup in the end. That's why I say you never. It's not the people, the three immediate people that I said. No, you just can't trust this system. Period, because this system has so many flaws in it, that it's not currently adaptable to the format they present. They presenting it like, oh, okay, it's this easy or whatever, whatever, whatever. Like, I sat somewhere for 3 months and then talked to a housing coordinator. Meanwhile, the city is paying for the spot for me to stay, but you ain't making no progress on your own. You ain't even coming through to check and see what's going on, how everybody. As soon as that fucking shot came, or they want to make sure everybody on that shot, you know what? You heard me when they asked me about that shot. Now I'm not fucking taking that shot. How many times you asked me? I said that shit like 10 times on different days. I'm not taking that shit. I don't know what that shit. My mother's a nurse. My mother told me don't take that shit. There's not enough research on it. That's what my mother said. Don't take that shit. And she said that through my sister. Me and my mom don't talk like that, but she said that through my sister. She told my sister the same thing. Don't take that shit. You know what I mean? And I have not. They're not what? Hold on 1 second. I got this. Gotta. Yeah, unfortunately, they're not looking for the shame part. It's more about the profit or loss. I don't care about shame. He said, my worker said they're not looking for the shame part. That's quite all right. They don't look for the shame. He said they're not looking for the shame part. They're looking at it as a business. Yeah, everybody say that shit until they get thrown up on the fucking news. Then it all change. And so let me tell you something about motherfuckers. Motherfuckers talk all that good shit they want to. As soon as you go public and you put niggas up on the news, like I saw Ned Lamont do it, the day that I called that office, the same day, and coincidentally, you have a press conference talking about your advancements with fucking COVID and what the state plans on doing, and more importantly, which I clipped that shit, how the state municipalities start kicking in. Yeah, because these motherfuckers down here is failing. They failing. I don't have to shame you in person. No, motherfucker. I let the news shame you. That's how that go. No, I'm not shaming you, person. I don't care if less with me. I don't care what you think about me or what you think less. I never got into that. I don't care what a motherfucker think about me. I'm a good looking motherfucker. I don't give a fuck what you think. You understand what I'm saying? I'm a New Yorker, New Englander motherfucker. I don't give a fuck what you think or any of that shit. I'm a nice guy. You know what I mean? I try to be nice to everybody. Some people you just can't be nice to, and some people just plain fucking fucks, or whatever happens to them, fucking happens to them. You know, whether that be by me or someone else. This happens that way sometimes. You know, I don't make these things up. Sometimes you just gotta, get things the fuck out of the way, huh? But yeah, it's not about a shaming tactic. It's about the fact that sometimes people operate the way they want to because the proper channels that should be hovering over them and navigating them and that they should attune to, they're not. So it's not about shaming a motherfucker. Boy, the fuck, what's the word I'm using? Using expose a motherfucker. You know, had not been for that cop that motherfucker did what he did to George Floyd, and he had a videotape, he would have continued doing shit like that. In fact, he had kept on doing shit like that, right? Then as soon as the local media got that tape, what happened? Oh shit, he's on trial. Oh shit, he's going to jail. Oh shit, he just got found guilty. You see? So that's the old way of doing things. And if a motherfucker think that I'm that stupid that in this age that we live in, I would be, no, nigga. You watching me and I'm watching you. You know what I mean? And I know that this state got what was promised, 10 billion. They'll receive portions of it, and I believe it's like that. I don't think they get the whole thing at one time. But with that money, you should be able to make some things happen. Not just talk about fucking strengthening schools, which you should have been doing in the first fucking place. Not just talking about beautifying downtown, which is beautiful all fucking ready, or all this other shit you want to do for what you quote unquote put the solid citizens. Well, listen here, buddy. You're gonna have a whole bunch of solid citizens living around a whole bunch of motherfucking gargoyles, witches, and warlocks and motherfucking minute out in these streets, and Freddy Kruegers and Jasons and everybody else. Because if you haven't taken a look, and I'll give you a primary example, I dare anybody, and I know this for a fact, I dare any motherfucker to walk through the Stanford train station at, I'm gonna say at the latest 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, right? And walk through that Stanford train station, and you will literally see people in their sleep. And this is how much such of a problem it is. If y'all had that video I had, the guy told me at the train station when I asked him, he said, yo, all these people, the state allows them to stay in here. And we've been mandated to let them stay in here. And I said, well, I don't want them kicked out either. I said, I was just asking a question. Like, he was thinking that I was like, yo, they bothered me. I want to, why the fuck would I say that? Like, you know what I mean? But it was just the fact that that was the approach he took first. So that let me know, okay, that's how they feel. That's a general feeling about homeless folks around here. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, it's a very opulent area. It's the most opulent area I would say in the state of Connecticut, really, except for maybe like one or two areas. These people don't care about these homeless people here. And their lack of caring, what's going to happen is going to make the situation get worse, especially when this eviction shit starts moving around. You think it's bad now, you wait until then. And then I look, $10 billion a day, yeah, they're going to have to allocate that to somewhere. But I don't know where the fuck you get off. And that's why they needed so much money, because there's so many municipalities here. They didn't get so much money because they're greedy. They got so much money because there's so many small municipalities here within counties that you need $10 billion to accommodate everybody. Because I think that, okay, in my county, I think there's one, two, three, four. I think there's like over 13 or 14 municipalities, smaller municipalities within the area that they have to serve that money to. So that means like out of that 10 billion is I don't know, what are we saying? $10 billion is 1.2 for you, is 1.3 for you. You know, it really breaks down the small increments of money. Really ain't a lot of money. You know what I mean? At $10 billion to one state, yeah, that's a lot of money. But when you divide it up between the pie up between the localities, it really becomes cents on the dollars for the fiscal year, if that makes any sense. So, yeah, man. I hate when people think I'm stupid, but I always use it to work to my advantage. I'm like, yeah, I'm done. You know it. The fuck out of here. I speak Spanish and French both. Right? Like, that just alone should let you know mentally where I'm at. Two, um, yeah, I know I'm a little rough or whatever, whatever. But ça va. Son compris. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck about all that either. Because a soft man is a man that gets beaten. Believe that. People always ask me, why you so abrasive or whatever? Because I don't know any fucking other way else to be, sorry. When y'all see me, I've been with the, I done told with the best of them. That guy, Fabian, I met the other day. Shout out to Fabian that recognized me. He'll tell you he was referencing one of the videos I had, and homeboy was trying to get at me. I was like, yo, just wait 1 minute. I remember that. I said, just wait 1 minute. Keep talking. Keep talking. And then my mans and them showed up, and all of a sudden he turns pussy. He starts running. This niggas runs in front of the police. I'm like, nigga, we'll fuck you up in front of the police. What's happening? Like, if we going anyway. Like, what's happening? I thought you was brave. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna take that nigga life, but you only take somebody's life if you got to. You know what I mean? Ain't wrong with it. Anyway, yo, I'm off of here. This shit right here, like I told you, is a joke. It is what it is. It's not even the governor anymore. It's the local municipalities and their mismanagement of funds, and not overseeing any of these landlords for what they're doing here in the city, trying to prioritize um, immigration over anything. There's a lot of prioritization of immigration here all of a sudden, and I've never seen such. I went on the other side of town. I never really fucked with that side of town, but that side of town I was on, that was probably my third time I've ever been over there. And the whole entire area is nothing but Ecuadorian, El Salvadorian, Guatemalan. Like it's just like really different dynamic for here in this city. I mean, like they were always been here, but it never been that many. And as a result, it kind of made them a little bit cocky, if you want to say. But it'd be like 13, 14 motherfuckers in the apartment, and you know, two or three of them. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So I don't know, man. One thing I do know is there has to be something done. If you're getting all this money, you need to start allocating that shit to some of the people that need it. Stop talking about all this projectional bullshit that you have your eyes set on. Fucking bridges and shit. Like, you ain't even got enough fucking traffic here to fucking erect a bridge right now or fix a bridge. What the fuck are we talking about? Most of the people in Connecticut, especially the smaller municipalities, go in the house by 4 or 5 o'clock in the fucking evening anyway. Tell me something different. Huh? Grab you a slice of shepherd's pie and shut the fuck up. I'm out of here, guys.